Oke guys, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, see me again. On this occasion, I will tell you about hardware computer software, working in IT with computer, and the TOEIC test. Okay, point one: hardware computer. Computer hardware is a physical component on a computer that is used by the system to execute command that have been programmed, or in nutshell, a component on a computer that can be touched, seen, and touched. Some of the main component in computer hardware is number one. What is the motherboard? The motherboard is the center of what make a PC work. It houses the CPU and is a hub that all other hardware runs through. The motherboard acts as a brain, allocating power where it's needed, communicating with and coordinating across all other components, making it one of the most important pieces of hardware in computer. Number two, CPU. What is the CPU? The CPU, or Central Processing Unit or Processor, is responsible for processing all information from program run by your computer. The clock speed, or the speed at which the processor process information, is measured in gigahertz. This means that a processor advertising a high gigahertz rating will likely perform faster than a similarly specified processor of the same brand and age. Number three, RAM. What is RAM? Random access memory, or RAM, is the hardware found in the memory slots of the motherboard. The role of RAM is to temporarily store on the fly information created by program, and to do so in a way that makes this data immediately accessible. The tasks that require random memory could be rendering image for graphic design, edits video or photographs, multitasking with multiple apps open. For example, running a game on one screen and chatting via Discord on other. Next, number four, hard drive or hard disk. The hard drive is a storage device responsible for storing permanent and temporary data. This data comes in many different forms, but is essentially anything saved or installed to a computer. For example, computer program, family photos, operating system, word processing document, and so on. Okay, next, GPU. What is the graphic processing unit, or GPU? Especially important for 3D rendering, the GPU does exactly what its name suggests, and process batches of graphic data. You will find that your computer's graphic card has at least one GPU. As opposite to the basic onboard graphic capabilities that PC motherboard supply, dedicated graphic card interface with the motherboard via an expansion slot to work almost exclusively on graphic rendering. This also means you can upgrade your graphic card if you want to get a bit more performance from your PC. And last, hardware, PSU, or power supply unit. What is a power supply unit? A power supply unit, commonly abbreviated as PSU, does more than just supply your computer with power. It is the point where power enters your system from an external power source and is then allocated by the motherboard to individual component hardware. Not all power supply are made equally, however, and without the right wattage PSU, your system will fail to work. Next, point 2, software computer. The definition of software is often referred to as data that is programmed, formatted, and stored digitally. It doesn't have a physical form, but can be operated by users via computer device. Some type of software. There are several types of software or software in a computer operating system, including number 1, application software. This software has a specific function, for example, for presentation and data processing. Example of application software is Microsoft Office Word, Microsoft Office Excel, maybe Open Office. Number 2, operating system. The software function is usually used to coordinate each component and function of the computer. Example, Windows, DOS, and Linux. Number 3, programming language. Programming language is a software that functions as a standard instruction provider. Example, PHP, Java, and Microsoft Visual Basic. Okay, next, point 3, working in IT with computer. This means is similar to your profession in IT with the computer. Number 1, big data engineer. Big data engineers spend their work days communicating with business users and data scientists with the goal of translating business objectives into workable data processing workflows. This position required a robust knowledge of statistics, experience with programming, and the ability to design and implement working solutions for common big data challenge. Number 2, application architect. Digital pros who land a position like application architect are required to maintain a high level of technical expertise while also excelling in areas like planning, coordination, communication, and teamwork. These professionals are tasked with designing major aspects of the architect of an application, providing a technical leadership to the development team, performing design and code reviews, ensuring enterprise-wide application standards are met, and more. Number 3, web developer. A web developer is the person responsible for the building and maintenance of a website. Because a website is often organization's primary public facing property, it's important for web developer to understand business needs and how to build sites that accommodate them. This position required an in-depth knowledge of Internet protocol and development language like PHP, JavaScript, HTML5, and CSS as well. Number 4, database administrator. Put simply, database administrator uses specialist software to securely store and organize data, ensuring that data is both available to users and secure from unauthorized access. Additional duties including identifying user needs to create and administer database, testing and making modification to database structure as needed, and merging all database into new one. Because many databases contain personal and financial information, database administrator makes security a top priority. Number 5, computer hardware engineer. Computer hardware engineers are tasked with designing, developing, and supervising the production of computer hardware like keyboards, modems, printers, computer system, chips, and circuit boards. Their duties are similar to those of electronic engineers, Although they focused exclusively on computer technology, with tasks like designing blueprint of new equipment, making models of new hardware design, upgrading current computer equipment, and supervising the manufacturing of new hardware. Last point, TOEIC test. What is the TOEIC test? You know, the TOEIC test is the TOEIC test is a test to demonstrate the ability to communicate in English in the world of work or take part in globalization. This test is only carried out in non-native English-speaking countries. You know difference between TOEFL and TOEIC? I will tell you. Simply put, the TOEFL is intended for students who wish to continue their education abroad. So it's more academic. So if you have a TOEFL certificate, then you have proof of your English proficiency. Meanwhile, TOEIC is different. TOEIC is more for a certificate of recognition that you are ready to enter the world of work with English language skill that meet standards. How important is the TOEIC certificate for you? I have three points for you. Number one, requirement for getting a dream job. Number two, requirement to increase work level. Number three, graduation requirement for several SMK and Polytechnic. You should know about TOEIC. Number one, multiple choice consists of few questions. Number two, do the question in 2 hours. TOEIC scores start from 400 to 990. 3. TOEIC has 2 kinds of tests, namely reading and listening tests with a score rank of 10 until 990. Do you have to take a TOEIC lesson first? Recommended, yes. Why? Apart from its organ function, in fact, the TOEIC test is difficult to pass. If you don't have a proper preparation, you will lose the test. Instead of being desperate and then failing, it's better to take lesson first. For example, TOEIC lesson at the VIP Vista Education. Here you will learn according to level and of course practice the same question by heart. Good job. Next, where can you take the TOEIC test? Not all institutions can hold the TOEIC test and issue certificates. If you choose the wrong choice, your certificate can be invalid or recognized. You're terrified. Hence, you need to choose an official and trusted institution. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for your attention. I apologize if any mistakes. And as I say, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good job.